Where broken ships had drifted for millions of years, engines now burned to life. Shadows moved in the dark, vast war machines awakening from their endless sleep. The humans on the Artemis watched in frozen silence as the wrecks revealed themselves. Not as corpses, but as survivors. The ancient enemy had returned. At first only one ship moved, a black shape longer than a continent, its hull carved with symbols older than stars. Then another stirred, and another. One by one, titans of war rose from the wreckage, weapons crackling with alien energy. Dr. Helen Grant's voice broke the silence. "Captain, those are the same ships that scarred the Devourer."
Devourers.
"Been waiting here all this time?" Captain Elias Kane's jaw tightened, and now they're awake. Devourer roared, a sound so deep it rattled the ship. It placed itself between the Artemis and the awakening fleet, wings stretching wide as if shielding the humans. Across the galaxy, alien leaders who had been watching the humans' every move stared in horror. Their worst fears had come alive. The monster they thought was their doom was nothing compared to this. The council chamber filled with screams. "It was true," shouted one. "The humans were right." Another hissed, "If these things spread beyond that graveyard, the galaxy will fall." Back in the graveyard, the first enemy ship fully awakened. A voice cold, mechanical, and cruel echoed through the void. Wasn't sound, but raw energy felt in the bones more than heard. Target identified. Survivor. Terminate. The Artemis shuddered as its systems translated the alien signal. "They're calling the Devourer a survivor," Grant whispered. "They want to finish what they started." Beams of pure energy lanced out, slamming into the Devourer. The monster reeled, but did not fall. It spread its wings and charged, slamming into the enemy ship with a force that made the stars tremble. The humans stared, breathless. The beast was not attacking them. It was fighting for them. Captain Grant said quickly, "We can't match their firepower, but we can help." "The Devourer's signals look. It's coordinating its moves with us." Kane frowned. "You mean it wants us to fight together?" "Yes," she said. "It's treating us like an ally." The thought was staggering. For thousands of years, the galaxy had seen the Devourer as a terror. And now, here it was, side by side with a human ship against a nightmare older than time. Kane made his choice. Relay targeting data to the beast. Shield what we can. No wasted fire. "Let's give it cover." The Artemis dove into the graveyard, weaving between colossal wrecks. Its smaller weapons flashed, striking enemy drones that poured from the titanic ships. Each time, the Devourer roared in approval, shifting its attacks in sync. The battle shook the graveyard. Debris spun into fire. Ancient hulls cracked under the Devourer's fury, but for every enemy it crushed, two more awoke. "They're endless," whispered a crewman. "No," Grant said, eyes locked on her console. "Not endless. Buried. Sleeping. But now. They're all waking." Her screen filled with signals. Dozens of ships. Hundreds. The graveyard wasn't just a battlefield. It was a prison, and the prison walls were breaking. The crew's hearts sank. The Devourer fought with desperate strength, but even its power was not enough against so many. Then something unexpected happened. Across the galaxy, council fleets that had been watching from afar began to move. At first only a handful, then more. Fear still gripped them, but seeing the humans and the beasts fight together changed something. "Perhaps." One alien admiral whispered, "The humans were right. Perhaps it is not our enemy." For the first time in history, fleets turned. Not away from the Devourer, but toward it. But they were still too far. The Artemis and the Devourer were alone. The enemy's voice thundered again. "Survivor will not escape. Destroy, destroy." Massive beams lanced out. The Devourer screamed, its body lit with fire as ancient wounds tore open again. Still, it held the line, refusing to let the Artemis be struck, Captain Grant cried. "It's sacrificing itself for us." Kane's voice was steel. "Not today. We don't run, not humans, not allies." For that, he gave the order. The Artemis launched everything it had, not at the enemy ships, but at the wrecks still sleeping. Explosions tore through the graveyard, breaking the cycle of awakening before more titans could rise. The Devourer roared in triumph, seizing the opening, struck the lead ship with all its fury, tearing it apart in a blaze of shattered metal. But the victory was brief. More ships still rose, their numbers overwhelming. And then in the middle of the chaos, a single human transmission went out across the stars. This is Captain Elias Kane of the United Earth Navy. The ancient enemy is real. The Devourer is not our fit, is our shield. If the galaxy wishes to live, stand with us now. The message echoed into the void, reaching every council world, every fearful leader. For the first time in millennia, the galaxy faced the truth. Their greatest fear had never been the monster. The true nightmare was now awake. This part delivers. The ancient enemy awakens in the graveyard. The Devourer fights alongside the humans. Humanity's message to the galaxy. The beast is our shield. A cliffhanger. Fleets across the galaxy must now decide whether to join the fight. The galaxy trembled. From the graveyard of ancient warships, titans of metal and fire awakened one after another. Their weapons glowed with impossible power, each shot strong enough to crack a moon. Against them, the Devourer roared, its wings blazing, its body scarred and bleeding, and beside it, the tiny human ship Artemis fought on. To the council fleets watching from afar, the scene was madness. A monster and a fragile human vessel, standing against an enemy that had once destroyed civilizations older than theirs. Leaders still hesitated. Fear chained them. But then Kane's message echoed again. The Devourer is not our foe, is our shield. If the galaxy wishes to live, stand with us now. The words spread faster than light. On distant worlds, soldiers heard them. Refugees in hiding heard them. Admirals, captains, Leader Zol heard the humans call. And something changed. For the first time, the galaxy stopped running. On the Artemis, alarms screamed as another. Beam grazed their shields. Ship rattled, sparks flying across the bridge. Shields at 30%, shouted the engineer. Keep us moving, Kane barked. His eyes never left the massive enemy ships. We buy the Devourer time. That's all that matters. The beast roared, throwing itself at the nearest titan. Its claws ripped through armor, tearing metal apart like paper. But even as it fought, more enemy ships surrounded it. They'll overwhelm it, Dr. Helen Grant whispered. Her voice shook, but her eyes were steady. Unless. Galaxy believes. Kane looked at her, then back at the screens. Then let's make them believe. The battle turned brutal. The Devourer bled streams of golden fire, its body covered in fresh wounds. The Artemis darted around it, blasting. Enemy drones, shielding the monster's flanks. Still, it wasn't enough. One colossal ship charged its main weapon, aiming not at the beast, but at the Artemis. "Captain!" shouted a crewman. The screen filled with light, death was seconds away. But then, from the dark, another fleet appeared. Sleek ships of the avian clarions, spiked cruisers of the reptilian Drakthor, vast carriers of the insectoid Jiri. They had come, answering humanity's call. Their admiral's voice rang across the comms. We stand with the humans. We stand with the survivor. Their fleets opened fire. Beams and missiles lit the graveyard like 1,000 suns. The enemy ship that had targeted the Artemis staggered under the assault. The Devourer seized the chance, tearing into it with a roar of fury. Across the galaxy, more fleets joined. One by one, species who had hidden for centuries now surged. Forward, fear gave way to courage. For the first time in history, the galaxy fought as one. The battle raged for hours. Ancient enemy was powerful, relentless, but no longer unstoppable. The Devourer fought like a warrior reborn, every strike guided by human signals. The Artemis became its voice, translating roars into strategy. Linking alien fleets together, Dr. Grant watched the patterns unfold on her screens. Captain, it's listening to us, fighting with us. Kane's lips tightened into a smile. And let's finish this together. Fleet by fleet, the galaxy pushed forward. Enemy titans fell, their hulks burning in silence. For every wound the Devourer took, Allied ships shielded its flanks. For every ship that fell, the beasts covered their retreat. Monster the galaxy had feared was now its greatest defender. At last, only one Titan remained the largest, its core glowing with ancient energy. Its voice thundered across the void. Survivor will fall. Galaxy will fall. All will end. The Devourer roared. Back wings spread wide, but it staggered, barely able to stand. The final enemy raised its weapon, energy gathering for a strike that could destroy them all. Silence gripped the galaxy. Then Kane stood tall on the bridge. His voice rang clear. All ships focus fire on my mark, and Devourer. He looked at the screen, meeting its golden eyes. With us, one last time, Dr. Grant sent the signal. The Devourer answered with a roar, its body blaze.